Brianna Turner has signed with the Indiana Fever per the WNBA transition page. Some depth for the Fever front court. She played for, again, I believe she played for Chicago.
Angel Reese is not taking this one well. The moment Brianna Turner rejected the Chicago Sky and chose to link up with Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever instead, Reese was already in her feelings. And of course, she made sure everyone knew it. "Oh, so this is what we're doing now," she said, trying to sound playful. But the side-eye and that fake little laugh gave it all away. You could practically hear the salt in her voice. Guess loyalty's got an expiration date like some old milk. Classic Angel, turn everything into a moment. But behind the jokes, you know it stung. WNBA Twitter? They ate it up like free popcorn at a game.
You don't get told no. Like, you're going to get the yeses. You're going to get more yeses than nos, and just being able to know that. So I'm excited for that. I know that's going to come soon.
See, this wasn't just any free agent picking a team. This was Brianna Turner, all WNBA defense first team, proven veteran, someone who could have been a stabilizing force for the shaky Sky, choosing to run straight to Indiana and putting Reese in her place. Turner literally took a pay cut to sign with Indiana rather than stay in Chicago, who had the cap space to give her a bigger deal. And when you're Angel Reese, still out here trying to convince the world that you're the face of the league, but watching players you need dip out to go play with your so-called rival, that hits different. And let's be clear, there is no rivalry, except in Reese's head.
WNBA free agency is officially underway, Annie. So when you see these names and the options that the Sky have, what do you think that they're cooking up?
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because Angel and Camilla are very interesting pieces. And when you're talking about, you know, getting the right players in here, there is intrigue when you have young core pieces like that, because you could be part of developing them and developing towards a title contending season. But the reality is the Sky are still very far from that. And so this year, the focus really has to be on getting players in who are going to bridge that gap between this season and next.
Reese tried to brush it off with the usual social media performance, but the cracks were showing. "Wow, just wow," she tweeted. Short, simple, but we all knew what that meant. Translation? She was fuming. And honestly, can you blame her? First, A'ja Wilson was stressed watching the Fever build what's starting to look like an Avengers-level squad, and now Angel Reese had to deal with it too. It's like every top-tier free agent looked at Chicago, looked at Indiana, and said, "Yeah, I'm good. I'll go hoop with Caitlin."
So, in a kind of a surprising turn of events, the Indiana Fever have made yet another move this offseason, and they have signed Bri Turner to the roster.
Meanwhile, over in Indiana, pure celebration. Brianna Turner was greeted with open arms. Aaliyah Boston, cool as ever, tweeted, "Let's hoop." Simple, but with the kind of confidence that says, "We know what we're building over here." And Sophie Cunningham? You know she was somewhere grinning ear to ear, probably thinking about the first time she gets to clap back at Angel Reese on the court after a hard foul. This Fever team isn't just adding talent. They're building chemistry before they've even hit the gym.
These are the pieces that Stephanie White and Amber Cox is going after. They're going after ready elite talent, kind of, you know, they know their responsibility. They know what they need to do. You know what I'm saying? They don't really have to do a whole lot of coaching like that, teaching plug-and-play pieces and women that are going to come in and make immediate impact. That's what you want to see from this basketball team. That's what you see from elite teams across the league.
But here's the thing. This is bigger than just a player picking a team. This is a shift. The WNBA isn't just growing, it's becoming a spectacle. It's players realizing that Indiana is now the place to be. And for Angel Reese, it's looking like a nightmare. Because while she's busy trying to convince us that Chicago's got next, her teammates and potential teammates are quietly saying, "Nah, we're good."
So, lads, this is not great news, you know, for the Chicago Sky, who are a team that obviously, look, they're rebuilding. This is a team that is 100% rebuilding. The problem is they don't own their pick. So if the Chicago Sky run it back, they're probably not making the playoffs next year. Look, I think there's going to be an improvement from Angel Reese. I think it's going to be an improvement from Cardoso. But that team with no Kennedy Carter, it's going to be real tough to get any offensive power.
The offseason's not even over yet, and it already feels like the Fever won free agency. Angel Reese might have to start playing recruiter soon, but there's just one problem. All the stars are already taken. Social media was buzzing with bold takes. Y'all can keep Angel Reese and her missed layups. We've got Caitlin Clark. The disrespect wasn't subtle. It was loud. It was ruthless. And honestly, it was kind of earned. Because what was Chicago's comeback supposed to be? The Sky's free agency tracker was looking more like a missing persons report. Marina Mabrey left mid-season. Kennedy Carter was not re-signed. And Diamond DeShields chose the rec gym of Connecticut over Chicago. Only Reese and Camila Cardoso are left from their starting lineup. Sky fans were scrolling their phones like, wait, who did we get? Anyone? While teams like New York were flexing their super team status and the Aces were still holding on to their dynasty core, Chicago was out here looking like they were putting together a junior varsity team.
Fever, it is funny that all these people who hated the Indiana Fever last year is finally coming around to sign with the team. Go figure. Now, I don't know the whole initial thing about this signing, maybe for depth, for defensive purposes, but it is funny to see how what a year make when the Indiana Fever is one of the, not one, but is the top team.
The pain was real. Every time Fever fans posted a lineup graphic, Sky fans had to close the app just to protect their mental health. Because what were they going to say? Trust the process? That's cute for NBA Twitter, but this is the WNBA. You either build right or you get left behind. And right now, Chicago was looking like they were about to get lapped.
Indiana Fever are officially title contenders. Every day they have something new for us in free agency. And today, it's Miss DeWanna Bonner. Six-time WNBA All-Star and WNBA champ, a veteran in this game, can pretty much do it all. Also an enforcer, nasty defense. Should I continue? We have a new starting five. Caitlin at the 1, Kelsey at the 2, DeWanna at the 3, Natasha Howard at the 4, and Aaliyah Boston at the 5.
Of course, Angel Reese wasn't going to let her pride take that hit without a fight. She went right into her underdog speech, the same one we've all heard before. I thrive when people doubt me, she said. And sure, maybe she does. Maybe she's going to show up next season ready to bulldoze every defender in her path. But let's be honest, thriving off doubt is great for a solo player, but basketball is a team sport. And right now, her team is looking like they're one rolled ankle away from disaster.
Is Angel Reese, did she just run a coach out of town, and is she running a player out of town? Their best shooter out of town? Because Kennedy Carter looks like she's ready to book it out of Chicago.
Because while Reese is talking about proving people wrong, Indiana is out here making moves like they've got a personal vendetta against the entire league. Fever GM Amber Cox and head coach Stephanie White didn't just see potential in Caitlin Clark. They saw a championship window opening, and they're diving through it headfirst. No more, we're rebuilding. No more, give it time. This team is built to win now, and you can see it in every move they made this offseason.
What Steph White is doing and what the Fever organization is doing is nothing less than phenomenal, in my opinion. They are taking this young, talented core that they have, with Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark, and they're adding veteran players that Stephanie White has already worked with. Let's talk about that too, and has chemistry with and knows the work ethic of. And they are building this super team, make no mistake about it, that is going to give you instant results.
Natasha Howard isn't just a veteran, she's a champion. A defensive monster who can still drop 20 on any given night. DeWanna Bonner is a walking bucket and a proven leader who thrives under pressure. Brianna Turner is an elite defender, ready to shut down the paint and make sure no one gets easy buckets. Sophie Cunningham? She's bringing the edge, the shooting, and the attitude. Exactly the kind of player you need when the playoffs get physical. And Sydney Colson? She's more than just jokes and good vibes. She's a veteran guard who knows how to run an offense and bring calm to the floor when things get hectic. And guess what? They did this without giving up their Fab Four of Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, and Lexi Hull. Together, this isn't just a team, it's an army. Every role is covered. There's leadership, defense, scoring, depth, and most importantly, chemistry. Caitlin Clark doesn't have to do everything herself. She's got a squad that can handle their business.
Breaking news came down, so we have to discuss it. This is what we do here. We're talking about the Indiana Fever making yet another move, Alicia, because they're Thanos right now and they're collecting all the Infinity Stones.
And let's not forget, Aaliyah Boston is still there. People are so focused on Caitlin Clark, they forget Boston is already an all-star and one of the most dominant young bigs in the league. Pairing her with Brianna Turner and Natasha Howard in the front court? That's a defensive wall. Good luck driving into that paint. And with DeWanna Bonner and Sophie Cunningham in the mix, it gives Kelsey Mitchell and Lexi Hull much more open looks on offense. Stephanie White knows exactly what she's doing. She's not just collecting talent for the sake of it, she's building a team that fits together. Everyone on this roster complements Caitlin Clark. They stretch the floor, they defend, they know how to move without the ball, everything Caitlin needs to thrive. Because let's be honest, if teams thought trapping Caitlin Clark at the logo was tough last season, wait until she's got Mitchell or Bonner cutting back door, Hull or Cunningham spacing the wing, and Boston, Turner, or Natasha Howard ready to punish them inside.
Sydney Colson is a two-time WNBA champion, a true vet, an amazing backup point guard. And anytime that CC or any of the guards need to go to the bench, I mean, Sydney Colson always makes the right call, always makes the right decision. So to pick up a vet, a professional like Sydney Colson, and then you also have a vet like DeWanna Bonner, and you also have a vet like Kelsey Mitchell, and then you have CC and Aaliyah Boston and Lexi.
The rest of the WNBA thought they had time, thought they had a season or two before Indiana really figured it out. Wrong. The Fever just hit fast forward on the rebuild button. They're not waiting. They're coming now. And for teams like Chicago, that's terrifying. Because if this team clicks the way it's looking on paper, they aren't just making the playoffs, they're making a run.
Just trying to give myself some grace because I know I'm not the player that I want to be just yet, but also kind of patting myself in the back, telling myself that I'm still doing great.
Angel Reese can talk about underdog mentality all she wants, but that's not winning you games when Caitlin Clark is draining threes from the logo and Aaliyah Boston is sending your shot into the third row. Chicago might believe they can figure it out along the way, but the Fever? They're not leaving anything to chance. They've built a team that's ready to win from day one. And that's what's really driving Angel Reese crazy. It's not just Brianna Turner leaving. It's the realization that Indiana is everything Chicago wanted to be. A young core, respected veterans, and a front office that's actually making smart moves. The Fever are setting the standard, and the Sky? They're just hoping Angel Reese can talk their way into relevance.
According to league sources, Weatherspoon had lost the locker room because of a culture that catered to the needs of a few players. Dear Lord.
Let's be honest. Once Stephanie White took the reins, this officially became Caitlin Clark's team. No more tiptoeing around it, no more let's ease her in nonsense. This isn't some young star learning curve situation. Clark's getting the rock, the keys, and the green light from day one. White knows what she's working with, a generational talent who's already changing the landscape of the league. And she's not wasting time figuring it out. She's making sure Caitlin has everything she needs to take over the WNBA. That's the difference between the Fever and teams like Chicago, still trying to convince themselves that Angel Reese's hustle plays are going to save them.
Throughout the year, WNBA players were demanding to be given credit for elevating the league. Angel Reese claimed that she, along with their pretend friends in the mainstream media, they wanted us to believe that the WNBA was exploding in popularity. They wanted to keep all the credit for themselves while downplaying the impact of the only star in the league, Caitlin Clark.
Meanwhile, the rest of the league. Oh, they're shook. Asia Wilson felt the tension the second the Fever started treating free agency like a talent heist. Because while Aces fans are busy dreaming of championship number 3, Wilson is realizing her dynasty might be under attack. Chelsea Gray hasn't been the same since her injury. Kelsey Plum has moved to Los Angeles, and now Sydney Colson, Aces locker room queen, is wearing an Indiana jersey. Literally half the team has abandoned the Aces ship. The once untouchable super team is looking a little thin, while the Fever just keeps getting deeper.
That's kind of what everybody talked about when we were in the playoffs last year of, we really didn't have much experience at all playing in playoff games. I don't know what the exact number was, but we really lacked in that area. So just adding pieces of, players that have been in this league, they know what it takes to win. They know what it takes to get to the finals. They know what it takes to win championships. I think it's exactly what we needed in our locker room. So it's just exciting, but also like they're not only really good basketball players, they're really great leaders and really great people. And I know the front office obviously really prioritized that and looking for the pieces that we wanted to add. So really thankful for that as well.
And the fans? Fever fans are thriving. Years of rebuilding, of clinging to moral victories are over. They're talking spicy. We're not just making the playoffs, we're coming for a ring. And the wild part? They might not be wrong. Because this squad, it's got depth, defense, shooting, veteran leadership, and a rising superstar at the helm. This isn't some feel-good underdog story. This is a takeover. Caitlin Clark isn't here to just participate. She's here to win. And Fever fans, they know it. Aces fans, though, oh, they're spiraling. Their MVP, Asia Wilson, probably checked her phone, saw Turner signing with Indiana, and just whispered, "Not again." Jackie Young is still there. Chelsea Gray's working her way back. But it's getting real lonely in Vegas. The energy's shifted. That unbeatable aura? It's cracking. And while Aces fans keep posting highlights from 2022, Fever fans are focused on 2025. Because this roster, it's built for now and the future.
So, for all Aces fans, it's over. It's over. It's over. The reign of the Aces is over. I understand the shortest dynasty in the history of the sport of basketball. You know, I've never heard of a dynasty that won 2 championships and then was done. Because you're seeing all the ring-chasing free agents getting out of Vegas.
Sky fans? They're stuck in the denial phase. We still got Angel Reese, they say. Okay. And where did that get you last season? Exactly. Reese can post all the Instagram photos she wants. You can't grind your way out of a bad roster. That's just facts. And while Sky fans are convincing themselves that patience is the answer, Fever fans are asking a different question. Who's guarding Caitlin Clark when we drop 100 on you all? But the funniest part of all this? Cheryl swoops. Oh, Cheryl. Remember when she said nobody wanted to play in Indiana?
People in the Fever were like, y'all.
That's not my point. There's a lot of other shit going on that players are like, this ain't where I want to be.
Over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some new shit
like
going
it's
on
a lot.
around there.
It's a lot. So you have players that are very significant on this Indiana Fever team that are like, I don't
want to be here.
This is where I want to be.
Yeah.
That take aged worse than spoiled milk. Because at this point, the Fever's front office is putting swoops in her place. Nobody wants to play in Indiana? Then why does it look like half the league just requested a U-Haul to Indianapolis? Cheryl might need to drop a "my bad" statement because right now, her hot take is sitting next to Skip Bayless's worst moments. And let's not pretend this is over. The season hasn't even started. The WNBA thought they had time to adjust to the Caitlin Clark effect. But Indiana skipped the rebuild and went straight to championship mode. They saw Caitlin and said, "We're not waiting. We're winning now."
Are you in a position where you can add some pieces?
Yes, we are. We're definitely in a position. And I would think that if you are a smart basketball player and you watch the way she plays, you would want to play with her.
The rest of the league? They're scrambling. Chicago's on prayer watch. Vegas is holding meetings. New York is trying to keep their stars happy. And Indiana? They're just stacking the deck. This isn't a Cinderella story. This is an empire in the making. And it's being built around Caitlin Clark. So yeah, Angel Reese can post her Instagram captions about proving the doubters wrong. But while she's doing that, Caitlin Clark is putting up jump shots, and Stephanie White is drawing up plays that might just break the league. Because here's the truth. While everyone else is figuring out how to keep up, Indiana is already 10 steps ahead. And if you thought this offseason was crazy, wait until the Fever hit the court. Because that's when the real fun begins. Are you excited? Let us know in the comments. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next one.